Have you ever had a secret so big it threatened to destroy your family? Today, we're diving into Reddit confessions, where people are coming clean about the toughest dilemmas families have ever faced. But before we get into that, I'm here with my A1 Day 1, Mrs. Sawyer.
And I'm here with Mr. Sawyer.
And together, we are the only black kids in the class. Married besties, laughing through life and judging just a bit. And that bit grows and grows and grows. Mrs. Sawyer, how are you today?
I'm fabulous.
I know. I say the same thing. Sometimes I just wake up, I say, damn, she's fabulous.
I'm fabulous.
Love to hear it. Anything in particularly fabulous today?
I am very grateful to not be in the bed, all swollen and in pain. So I had my wisdom teeth taken out.
Oh,
so
okay. Tell us more.
I'm now excited that gone through that path and we're in the healing phases.
And now you can talk.
I can talk
and
now.
Eat.
I eat more. I never really stopped eating.
You couldn't really eat
I
what you wanted to eat.
What I wanted to eat, but
Yeah.
I couldn't stop eating. Like people were like, "Oh," remember, Mom was like, "She's eating what?" I was already eating same day actually, but yeah, I can eat more of what I want to eat. It is still a little. I still have some, waking up of the jaws, but I'm good.
Waking up with the jaws. The jaws were asleep. But at least you're not in pain.
I'm not in pain.
At least you're feeling better. And because you are able to eat, Mrs. Sawyer ate before the show.
I did. I had a scrumptious meal, actually. It was very flavorful and delicious. So I'm good. And I have my Vietnamese coffee.
So we're all in for some good energy, good vibes.
How are you?
I'm pretty groovy.
Groovy, okay.
Staying focused.
Like
I'm
that.
working on some things. I'm working on lots of things. But not only am I working, I'm resting, I'm growing, I'm thriving, I'm doing all the things. This is my time of year. A lot of people wait till New Year's Eve for the resolutions. I like July 1st. I'd be on that fiscal calendar. July 1st.
Okay.
I'm telling you, know what I've done with my clients towards the end of June? SWOT analyses. On the first quarter, the second quarter, this month in particular, what were the struggles? What were the strengths? What are we going to take over in the movement? I treat everything like that.
I love it. I love a good SWAT.
Hey, just be swatting. Lots of SWAT. So we did some SWOT analyses towards the end of June, and now we're in July. I'm connecting with more people. It is crazy. I literally have clients around the globe now. It is very interesting, this coaching adventure. I have clients in many, many countries.
I love that.
A lot of continents.
I love that.
Africa, Europe, and a couple people in different parts of the United States. So it's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I love to hear that.
Actually, no, I might have more coaching than therapy right now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Expansion.
Or it's 50-50. Or
Broaden horizons there. I love that.
Switching it up, baby.
Yeah.
Taking chances on me. Not too long ago, I asked the classmates, what would you do if you know you would succeed? And I asked myself the same thing. And I was like, damn, but I already succeeded. I married Mrs. Sawyer.
Ah. Good answer.
Winning.
Good answer.
Today's episode is all about family drama.
Family drama.
Family drama. We did one about a month ago.
Okay.
About crazy family stories. And I guess that was family drama too, but that was more to the crazy side. This is just the soap opera of families today. Today it is.
So this is like blood family.
You'll see.
Okay.
But a lot of it, yeah. A lot of it.
Yeah. I think it's different. I think you have drama and family because to me, a family is just a organization of relationships that you call family. And I think some of the dynamics are different, whether they're blood family or not.
Family.
Okay.
Each
I like
story
that.
goes in different directions.
Okay.
Some get a little testy. Some families are very trying, and some families are just damn outright toxic. Want to get into it?
I'm ready.
Well, before we get started, we've got some Ask the Black Kids.
Woohoo!
To start, we have an update.
Woohoo!
So not too long ago, we read a classmate submission. Help. How to stop crying when I look my husband in the eye. Do you remember that story?
Oh, I do.
Okay. If you want to catch up on that story, go back and watch the episode titled only the classmates could have submitted this. I think it's called Classmate Secrets Reveal.
Okay.
Lovely married couple, had some misalignment in libidos prior to marriage, had counseling before, thought everything was figured out. In marriage, not really meeting the same libidos that the wife expected. Come to find out, the husband was watching scantily clad white women on Instagram, and she is not that. And she was very concerned, and she felt like she was crying every time she was looking at her husband. So we responded in that last episode, and here's her update.
Okay.
Wow, I can't believe you read my email. I almost cried listening to it. Good news. I stopped crying when I looked at my husband.
Oh, that's great.
I allowed myself to feel all the feels, and we had a conversation to clear things up. I took time after my sister's run to write down questions I really wanted answers to, like, how often do you do this? Or have you actually tried to talk to this or any other Instagram model before? We were both open and vulnerable, and at the end of the day, we both knew we wanted each other more than anything.
Aww.
We are doing better now. We plan on finding a couples therapist. I'm so glad that I talked to you guys and got an outside opinion, because when I talked to my best friend, she said it wasn't a big deal, which isn't shocking to me because her husband is always shenanigans.
Yep. See? Nah. See? Look at that. Growth. I love this.
To clear a question made on the podcast whether or not having sex before marriage was a religious choice, it wasn't. His parents kept him and his siblings very sheltered, especially because his dad was a cop and a Marine veteran and wasn't going to let any shenanigans go on in his household, which in turn led to be a little socially awkward in adulthood. He's had some other sexual experiences, but just not intercourse. After a year of dating is when we did the deed for the first time, and we moved in a year after that. It wasn't until after we moved in together I knew our sex drives did not align. We both lived with our parents until we moved in together. We decided not to pause the baby plans because giving birth as a black woman is already difficult, and the longer we wait, the harder it can get. Things like IVF are definitely a cost that we can't imagine having. By the way, thanks for keeping me anonymous. I was distraught at that state of time and did not think of that. Anyways, and always, I love the show. I know you guys don't come to Southern California, really, but if I have any fire spots to eat, I will make sure to send the addresses your way. I also added a picture of me and my husband on our wedding day. We will be celebrating our first anniversary in July. Here you go.
Oh, look how beautiful. Oh, I love the scenery. Oh, and her flowers are pretty. Oh, they look very happy.
So, you know how people just going to say like nice shit no matter what?
I don't do that.
We don't really do that.
I don't do that.
So when we say it's a nice looking couple,
it's a nice looking couple. It's a very nice looking couple. And like I know fake smiles, and that I'm getting chill bumps. That's beautiful. Oh,
they look like they actually like each other.
They look like they actually like each other.
And if you ever been to a wedding where even in the pictures, like before the photographer takes the picture, they're like,
yes.
Then it's picture time. It's like,
yes, yeah.
No, they actually look like before and after the photo was taken, they may like each other.
That's beautiful.
Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for sharing. And I love that you guys were both vulnerable with each other, and you're taking that time to actually work through it. Marriage is not always, the highlight part of the show on the internet, the happy part. It does take work. And I'm glad you guys are both committed on both sides, it sounds like. So good luck to therapy, and don't let obstacles or setbacks, take you off your course. It seems like you guys are aligned there and going to move forward. So good luck.
We got another Ask the Black Kids.
All right.
Asking for advice, Estranged Father Edition. Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Sawyer. Hey.
Hey.
I hope you're both doing well. Before I get into my message, I just wanted to give a big thank you to you both for making a podcast that's kept my attention for more than 4 months. I mean that genuinely. With my husband starting a new job and us moving to a point where I've got a longer commute, I've been looking for something to listen to and keep me entertained. I've never really been a podcast gal, and most fizzle out less to a month in. I'm really happy I found y'all's podcast because it makes the long drive feel a little shorter when I'm laughing alongside y'all's reactions. I hope that you both get to experience much love and laughter for many years to come.
Aww.
You both are so sweet.
I love that.
Thank you. The other reason I wanted to write was because I've recently listened to your My Family is Crazier Than Yours episode. And in it, y'all included a reminder that relationships come in all shapes and sizes.
They do.
It just so happened to be around Father's Day weekend. I don't know if that was intentional or not. And so I was already thinking about my estranged father with whom I have minimum contact. My conversation with my mom on that Father's Day weekend was really what made me believe it'd be worth to write in. And no worries, I know that Mr. Sawyer is a therapist, but not my therapist.
Yes. Very good.
I don't even say it anymore, do I?
I love it. The classmates,
They
on
know.
it. They take
They
the
know.
notes. They on it.
For a bit of context, I am a 23-year-old woman. From as far back as I can remember, my father was never really in my early years of life in a meaningful, positive way. The good memories I had of him are often dulled by the fear I had of him because if he wasn't at home intimidating me and threatening to discipline me, he was at work. To my knowledge and memory, he never hit me or my mom, but the emotional and verbal abuse was there for many, many years. I remember believing at the age of 4 that my dad didn't like me enough to want to spend time with my mom and me, and it remained that way until I was 12 or so.
Wow.
My parents eventually had my little sister, and a couple of years after she was born, my father had a severe medical procedure. It was highly invasive, but if it hadn't happened, my father would have run the risk of waking up one day paralyzed from the neck down. After the surgery, he was kinder to me and my sister. Even though I had my doubts about whether he liked me or not, I enjoyed having a kind father that seemed to be everything I had hoped and dreamed of. Some years after the surgery was when I turned 12 and had a big emotional heart-to-heart with him, where I admitted my fears. He apologized, and for the next 2-ish years, everything was what I had always wanted. Then came a rough patch between my parents. They began arguing more and more about my academic performance. Even though I was a straight A student since grade school, there was a lot of pressure to be academically perfect. The pressure was so bad that I developed serious mental health issues, and around the time I started high school, I was suffering a lot as I became an emotional buffer for my sister that filtered out my parents fighting. My sister later suffered a severe concussion that wiped a lot of her memory, and my parents' relationship only worsened. My father was nowhere to be seen in the recovery time. My mom and I rebuilt my sister's confidence and ability on our own, and even years later, I don't think my family ever fully recovered. Along came 2020, and if the universal fear, hurt, and suffering weren't enough to deal with, my parents talked about separation. I was partially relieved, as much as it hurt, because for years now, I had been the emotional punching bag and damage control to everyone in the house. However, what I didn't expect to hear was my father declare that he was only going to be a parent until his daughters were 18. I, who was 18 about to turn 19 at the time, felt shattered as I heard him dust his hands and say, once 18 hits, that's it. I'm done being their father.
Damn.
Great stuff to hear for my mental health. LOL. Sarcasm.
That's terrible.
A couple of years pass, more stuff happens, and more fights between my parents happen. If the coffin hadn't been nailed down before, the night when my father cursed at me and blamed me for him having to leave the house and sleep in a hotel definitely made sure it was sealed.
Damn.
I think it was sometime after that incident that I made the decision to stop contacting him. I didn't like to talk to him. I didn't look at him. In conversation, I referred to him as my father rather than any affectionate calling like dad. Well, lo and behold, my father sought out therapy and a personal trainer circa 2022. My mom and I had come to our own conclusion that he was a narcissist. I had learned that term from my therapist at the time, and I was helping my family as best as I could to seek out resources like counseling and therapy. My mom, sister, and I were slowly rebuilding when my father all of a sudden has this grand epiphany that he's been an asshole for the past 21 years.
Okay.
Mind you, this epiphany didn't come until after a few weeks of my parents being informally separated, living in different places but still married. So life goes on, and as my father is trying to worm his way back into the house, he asked to talk to me one-on-one. I told him that what hurt the most was hearing that when they're 18, I'm done comment. Rather than apologize and take ownership of the comment, he asked me if I had ever considered the circumstances that might have made him say that. I don't know about you, but that's some grade A level horse crap with extra flies buzzing around it.
Agreed.
In that conversation, I mentioned that he and I might eventually become friends, but I, 21 years old at the time, was not interested in having a father anymore. I told him I was glad that he finally sought the help he needed to feel better and try to be a better man, but I pointed out that he could have done this at any point in the past 21 years. He just didn't think me, my mom, and my sister were worth trying to better himself until he was on the brink of losing us. From then on, we were minimum contact. I moved out of my parents' home without telling him, and he sent me a long message about how it hurt to hear that his oldest daughter was beginning her life without telling him. I switched phone numbers and only texted him about it because he was still living in the same town as my sister and mother. If an emergency happened, I wanted him to have a way to reach me. He sent me happy birthdays, Merry Christmases, and the occasional text of, hope you're doing well, I miss you. But I very rarely responded. I think over the past 2.5 years, I've answered a total of 7 messages. My husband and I got married in a very small and intimate service, and we invited our close family. My mom and sister were invited. My father was not. I didn't even text him to tell him I was engaged. On the day of the wedding, he texted me once and called me twice. I didn't answer or respond to anything as I was enjoying my day. And on the whole, my life is lived happily and healthily to the best of my ability. I have a stable job that I enjoy. I have a wonderful husband and golden retriever, and my mom and sister visit me regularly. I'm genuinely happy, and his occasional messages are very little more than an annoying mosquito bite until some holiday like Father's Day comes around. My mom, however, is worried about my anger with my father. She always said I had his temper and my blood boils hot very similarly to the way his does. She recently mentioned that she and my sister have found their reasons to forgive my father and be at peace with their lives as they coexist in the same place. My mom doesn't have feelings for my father anymore, and I respect my sister's wishes to not talk about him and her relationship unless she brings it up first. From what I've gleaned, their peace translate into a whole lot of indifference towards my father, who's more like a roommate you bump into every now and then.
Okay.
My feelings for my father aren't hatred, but I won't like that I enjoy taking digs at him and making petty remarks with my husband and our friends every so often. I wish my father a long and healthy life, but I just want that long and healthy life to be lived far away from me. Whenever we do cross paths at a family event, there's clear tension as neither of us really acknowledges each other unless forced to, and I think that's where my mom is worried. She's worried that my dislike for my father is ruining my peace in my own life, and she's encouraging me to forgive and move on. I'm not very inclined to forgive him because I don't know if that kind of forgiveness is something that I'd even want to value. But I acknowledge that I'm still young and I ultimately don't know everything there is to know about life, which is why I'm turning to y'all. I'd like to ask you and the rest of our classmates if forgiveness is really something that I should be considering. If so, how should I go about giving that forgiveness? If not, would y'all have any advice on how to help my mom understand that I'm not suffering just because there's tension between my father and I on the very rare occasion that we do cross paths? Extra, my husband knows the issues I have with my father. Coincidentally enough, he also has an estranged father, and we've talked several times about how to address an estranged relative in our family's lives. We both agree with our plan, and we both know that the dislike we have for our fathers doesn't harm our value of life. Thank you for your time. Sincerely, a Latina classmate. Title of this letter, Asking for Advice, Estranged Father Edition. And here are the clear questions our classmate is seeking answers to. Is forgiveness really something that I should be considering? If so, how should I go about giving that forgiveness? If not, would y'all have any advice on how to help my mom understand that I'm not suffering just because there's tension between my father and I on the very rare occasion that we do cross paths? Mrs. Sawyer, should she consider forgiveness?
I think you should always consider it. I mean, the whole, build up, very good story background, bringing to the current and whatnot. But this person's was hurt, right? And I would just want to make sure that they've had the way to articulate that pain, and that, like, there's a difference from being hurt and saying, okay, well, I've allowed you to come in and you've like messed up my whole world. I'm not going to let you do that again, and setting clear boundaries. There's a difference between that and harboring like resentment and that pain, because then that kind of affects you subconsciously. It's always there, kind of like negativity inside your whole vibe, your aura. So I would just ensure that that part is not there. There's not resentment. Like, I'm okay with the boundaries. Like, she's allowed him to come back in. They had a talk. It's been since like childhood that they've gone back and forth, and he's gone down this path. And I think that that's his path to go. But whatever he's done, and if he's good with himself, there are reactions to his actions that he still has to be accountable for. And it's up to her whether or not she wants to rekindle that or she wants to make more. It seems like she's made the decision to just say, hey, I already got burnt once. I ain't going back again, So I think that's fine, but just it's okay to question yourself to ensure that that's where you are, is what I'm saying. Like go through that process to know that I'm not just doing this out of just hurt and I'm harboring resentment, and that this is just truly where I am and this is what I want. Like I would just err on that side just to make sure it's not, because what you don't want is regret that you did do this way and then something happens, or later on all that stuff that you tried to suppress, it rears its ugly head, and then you're in a bad place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would just ensure that this is where you are. Make sure you've asked the right questions to yourself, that you've worked through, that you processed it, that this is what you want. And that was the first question. So I don't know if you want to weigh in on that first question.
No, you can answer everything.
And then the second part, I mean, it seems like she has a good relationship with her mom and her sister, and they decide to go different routes, which I love that. Like, you can't like dictate how someone else should feel from those actions. So I think that that's very healthy. I mean, I think moms are just, some dynamics of that relationship with mom and daughter is, you know, they always just want the best, and just ensure that that's where that you've done the work, that you've looked at it. And she said that they have very, what did she say? They get angry. I call it.
The mom said that she and her father have similar tempers.
Yeah.
Blood boils the same way.
Yeah. Just ensure that you tell her you're not acting out of anger and hurt, but this is what you need for your own peace. Like, and just make sure that the mom understands that that's where that is, and please don't push it any further. I don't want to rekindle that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think the mom is asking her to rekindle it. I think the mom is saying to forgive. And so, classmate, thanks for writing us. You had a line that I really liked. You said, I realize I acknowledge I'm still young, and I ultimately don't know everything there is to know about life. I am not that young. I don't know too much about life either. No one does. We're all learning. And it's always great to get an outside perspective when you can. I think your mom is right, and I think you are right also. And I think they coexist, and it's just really the way you look at it. You mentioned that forgiveness seems to look like a lot of indifference. Forgiveness doesn't have to be that you and your dad are getting chocolate sundaes together every weekend and you're texting all the time, sending memes and funny only black kids in the class reels, which everyone should be sending to everyone, but that's not the point right now. That doesn't mean forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean everything he's done is okay. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to be friends. Forgiveness doesn't even mean you have to talk to him.
Right.
Forgiveness, in the way I conceptualize it, is I'm not going to carry the burden of your shenanigans in my life anymore.
Right.
So when I talk about forgiveness, what I think about is removing the emotional reactivity I have to your bullshit. So he has been how he is. You have had the relationship with him that you have had. That cannot be undone. But his bullshit doesn't have to become your bullshit.
Exactly.
So when I think forgiveness, it's really not about the other person. It just means I'm not going to carry the weight of all you have done to me, the trauma of your inability to love healthily. I don't have to carry that anymore. That is your burden. You can deal with it or not. I just don't have to accept that in my life anymore. Right. So that's what I mean when I say I think your mom is right about forgiving. But I do not mean you need to give him a hug and family is always family, and no matter what, he's still your father. You only get one father. All the things that people are going to tell you, I don't know. No. If your dad's trash money, your dad's trash. Yeah. You don't have to be involved with him. If later on you want to give him a try, you can. If later on you don't want to give him a try, you don't have to. Right. You are not wrong. But the forgiveness is to not keep that in your spirit, clogging your happiness up, and maybe limiting your ability to grow and thrive because of what he's done. That's all I mean by forgiveness.
And I think also, like, just to bring all of that to the point, what you're feeling today or how you decide doesn't mean that you can't revisit it later and change your mind, right? It's not like right now in your place in life, there's no room for that because you're going on this path and that is something you don't want to deal with. Like, right? Like maybe it's just like not a priority on your list. And maybe later on you do. So it's not like you have to, because I think sometimes we put that burden that like whatever it is, this is our decision and we must stand by it forever. Like that's not life.
You can change your mind at any time.
At any time you feel like you want to go there, You can. So it's not like where you are in life. It sounds like you've made clear boundaries. My only take on that is that you're asking it. I don't know if that's the influence of your mom, but to me, that makes him think that you're kind of thinking about it too, which is good. So think about it again and then do that work on your own, not influences of your mom or your father. How do you feel? Do you want this relationship? If you do or you don't, what does that look like for you? That's the way I would do that.
When you run into him at these family gatherings, I'm a fairly awkward person, but I never really have awkward moments with people. Mostly because I'm not as invested into the tension. No, I'm not saying with every situation, but in most situations, I'm not invested in the tension that people tend to keep up with themselves. And that's what I mean when I say forgiveness. Like, it's not that I don't know you're an asshole. Oh, I know you're an asshole. And you know I know you're an asshole. But I don't have to be like,
Yeah.
For me, running into him in that kind of situation would be like, what's up? You cool? You're not? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool too. And keep it moving.
Yeah.
I don't have to be around him for a certain amount of time to show that I'm not bothered. I don't have to act like I'm not bothered. It is what it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I can say hello. I cannot say hello.
Right.
It's where you're at. There's no wrong here.
Yeah.
And 21 years, and you're 23 now, so 23 years is long enough to know, I don't really like this guy.
Right. But if you are going to these functions and you are giving that energy, then to me, you're still working through some of those feelings.
To sum it up, think of forgiveness as reducing your emotional reactivity. And you'll know you've done that when you don't want to take petty digs at him because he's not a factor. You know, like he's the story of your life. Maybe every now and then you make a joke, but you don't really think about him like that. It's just a funny thing to say when you're on your podcast.
Yeah.
Other than that, he's really not there.
Right.
So reduce the emotional reactivity. That might look like indifference, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Thank you for writing us.
And good luck. Good luck on that journey.
I'm going to read one more.
Okay, let's go. I like these.
This one's titled, Love Still Exists.
Woohoo!
Hello, Sawyers. This is John, your favorite pastor. I just want to encourage the classmates. In 10 days, my wife, who is also a classmate, hello, and I celebrate 25 years of marriage.
Oh, congrats.
She is a faithful classmate. Please give her a shout out. 25 down and a lifetime to go. So 10 days would have passed already. But hey, you know what? We're still giving you a happy belated, John and Denise, happy belated 25 years of marriage.
Belated, they're still in it. So happy 25 years. Love it.
Yep.
Yes. Happy 25 years. Oh, I love that. Ooh. Keep listening, classmates. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
See? Positive stories.
I love that. I love that. 25 years. That's right.
Never say it's all toxic shenanigans.
I know.
Positive stories.
I love the positivity, so keep those coming as well. I mean, I love to help those going through any kind of like trauma or wanting advice on how to get through, but I love to hear positive things too, because that's a part of life too. Sometimes I think things are a little skewed.
Especially on the internet.
Yeah. And the internet is only one way or the other.
You know what's interesting? I was looking for stories for this episode, specifically family stories, and I found a forum. It's funny, I don't remember the name of the forum, but in the rules, I think it was like a relationship advice forum, and it said, in the rules, it said, think of the comments here as inverse Uber ratings. And then it had an explanation, and it said, look, the internet's full of people who are either trolling or going through shit in their own life, and therefore they have a dim view of relationships. So if you're seeing every comment says run, maybe you should consider running. But all those comments that have an alternative to running, those kind of hold more weight.
True.
Because everyone's going to tell you just run. And sometimes you should. Yeah. And sometimes, nah.
Yeah.
Let's get into some.
Let's go.
Family dilemmas.
Dilemmas.
So I don't read a lot of these, but I pay attention to them. So we're going to read one of these. This is one of those where they just ask a general question. It's Ask Reddit form. Okay. And the question is, Once you were old enough, what were the dark family secrets you were finally let in on?
I must have a boring family.
Or they just don't tell you.
Dark secrets. Okay.
I'll read a few of these. My father was married with another woman before meeting my mother. They had a daughter, and my dad loved her so much. His wife started going crazy jealous. My dad noticed some strange behavior she had towards the girl, and when he tried to talk to her about it, she started arguing with him. He then left with his daughter to my uncle's house. She knew my dad would leave the girl with my aunt while he was at work, so she called the police and said my aunt kidnapped her child. The police came in and took the girl away from my aunt. She immediately tried to call my dad, but the woman drove back home, put poison in her daughter's milk, and forced her to drink it. When my dad arrived, he found his daughter already dead and left alone. The woman was never, ever found. My dad had never had justice for his first child. Kind of sad. Then when I was born, my mother didn't mind to name me after my sister. We share the same name, and that's actually how I found it out. I asked my parents about my name, and they told me the whole story.
That's crazy.
I said dark family secrets.
That is dark. Oh, my word. Jeez. Poison the kids' milk? That's some crazy shit.
So more. Once you were old enough, what were the dark family secrets you were finally let in on? When I was around 3 or 4, my aunt and her 3 sons, they say aunt, and her 3 sons came and lived with us for a few weeks. One night, my mom stayed up and I found her downstairs sitting in a chair looking out the window. One day, my aunt and the boys moved and never came back.
Oh.
Turns out she was going through a nasty divorce. She had the boys at the house with her while she was packing things one day, and her husband came home. He locked the boys in a room, stabbed her, and then shot himself.
Oh my gosh.
My mom had been staying up with a gun that night because she had seen him in our backyard earlier that night.
Wow.
Dark.
Like I said, I got a boring family.
You know what? You don't have a boring family, because just last month I was talking with you and your mom, and you talking about how that one aunt had the big ass shoe and used to knock motherfuckers in the head and carry a pistol.
That's not no secret though. That's no secret. That's not no secret. That's survival.
Maybe not so boring.
Oh, but that was no secret.
Okay. In comparison, a thing in my family was my dad telling me how he memorized the Dewey Decimal System. You see a little difference?
Well,
see a little difference? Ain't nobody getting knocked in the head, pushing people down the stairs, no pistols involved. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Talking about you had got a boring family. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring your mom on this show. We're gonna find out how boring your family is.
Oh, that's my favorite aunt.
So that one, there's one I just skipped. That is way too dark to read.
Okay, don't take it to
way too dark.
My aunt ain't never killed nobody though. You see, it's different.
Oh. Well, then I'm gonna skip this next one too.
She ain't never killed nobody.
I just had one. Okay, I'm gonna skip that one too. No more murder.
And she know how to defend herself. She ain't never killed nobody. She had to. She probably wouldn't hesitate, but she never had to.
So here's the last one I'll read.
Okay.
My father met my mother in the Philippines when he was stationed there in the Navy. He married her there and conceived me. He went away to finish his tour of duty. My mother moved to America when she was a month away from giving birth to me. She moved in with my relatives in Texas. My father's tour ended while he was in Hawaii. He met a woman there and called my mom in America asking for a divorce. He wanted to take back his recent marriage to her with a kid on the way because he had a hot one-night stand.
Oh, wow.
My mother was already scared being in a new country, not knowing much English.
Damn.
Add to this that she was pregnant, about to give birth, and her husband was dumping her. My Texan uncle got on a plane to Hawaii, prepared to kick my father's ass. He somehow talked my father into being a man and taking responsibility for his wife and child. The fact that the fling dumped him, the fact that the fling dumped his ass surely helped. He was back by the time I was born. I learned all this when I was 11, around the time my parents got divorced.
Oh, boy.
It was only the first of countless dark family secrets I would come to learn during my teenage years.
Damn. You see, the uncle was about that business.
Yeah. Some people don't play that shit.
You see? The uncle was
the
about
uncle
it.
said, hold on, I'm going to Hawaii.
That was like my aunt.
Yes, you're right. You are right. You are right.
That's just the enforcer. That's just roles in the family dynamic. That's all.
You're right. You are right. You are
Go bring your
100%
ass
right.
home. I don't know what you got going on out there. Come on, take care of your responsibilities. Oh,
You are
boy.
right.
Whew. That's some dark secrets there, boy.
Let's get into another story.
Let's go.
Am I the asshole for refusing to help my parents after they gave my sister their house?
Oh.
I, 33-year-old male, have always had a complicated relationship with my parents. Growing up, my younger sister, Lily, 30-year-old female, was clearly the favorite. They were more lenient with her, gave her more opportunities, and supported her financially in ways they never did for me. I accepted it over the years, figuring it was just the way things were. A few months ago, my parents decided to downsize and move into a smaller home. Instead of selling their current house, which is the one we grew up in, they decided to give it to Lily. They said she needed it more because she's starting a family and can use the space. They didn't offer me anything, not even a conversation about it. This hit me hard, especially since my wife and I are also planning to buy a home soon, and we could have really used some help. When I brought this up to my parents, they brushed it off and said Lily has always been the one who needed more support. I told them I felt hurt and left out, but they just acted like I was being selfish. Fast forward to last week, my parents reached out asking if I could help them with some renovations on their new place. They want me to spend several weekends doing repairs and helping them move, all without any compensation or even acknowledging how unfair the situation feels to me. I told them no, that I'm not willing to help after the way they handled giving away the house. They were shocked and accused me of being petty and ungrateful. Lily also chimed in saying I'm causing unnecessary drama and making everything about me.
She need to go sit down.
Now, my parents are barely speaking to me, and some extended family members have reached out telling me I'm overreacting and that I should just help them out because family comes first.
Nope.
Am I the asshole for refusing to help my parents after they gave my sister their house?
So I think it's two things being put together there. One, you help if you don't want to help, don't help. Like that's just it. I don't think all that stuff. The thing between you and the house, that's the conversation you brought it up and your parents told you that's what their decision was. So any child with the parents do what they want to do with their house, that's understood. If you don't want to help, don't help. That's the end of that thing. But quit putting it together. I think you're conflating two different things.
Very interesting that you say that, dear.
Why?
There's an update.
Okay. What's the update?
Wow, I didn't expect this to blow up like it did. Whenever they say that, I always wonder what they mean when blow up. And you sort of look down, you're like, that didn't really blow up, okay?
No, it blew up more than one. Like sometimes you write things like I think maybe two people in the world to see it. But,
Yeah, you're right.
So
Thanks to everyone who commented. It really made me think about my situation from a different perspective. A lot has happened since I posted, so I figured I'd give you all an update.
okay.
After reading through your comments, I realized that I needed to have a more honest conversation with my parents. I went over to talk to them, hoping they'd understand how hurt I was by their decision to give the house to Lily without even considering my situation or discussing it with me. I explained that it wasn't just about the house, but the years of feeling like I've always been second to her. Unfortunately, the conversation didn't go as I'd hoped. My parents were immediately defensive. My mom insisted that they had every right to do what they wanted with their property and that I should be more understanding of Lily's needs. My dad doubled down, saying that they were just doing what was best for the family and that I was being selfish for making this about myself. They refused to acknowledge any favoritism or the impact their decision had on me. As for Lily, when I confronted her, she basically dismissed my feelings. She told me she didn't see what the big deal was and accused me of trying to stir up drama. She said that if the roles were reversed, she wouldn't be upset and implied that I was overreacting.
Then get out.
I tried to explain how it felt to be overlooked for so long, but she just shrugged it off and told me to move on. At this point, I decided to step back. I've agreed to help my parents with the renovations because I don't want to burn bridges completely.
No.
But I made it clear to them that this doesn't mean I'm okay with how they handled things.
No.
They offered to pay me for my time, but honestly, it feels like a way to brush off the real issues. I'm not sure if our relationship will ever fully recover, but I'm focusing on setting boundaries and prioritizing my own well-being. Thanks again to everyone who shared their thoughts. It's been very validating to know that my feelings are justified, even if my family doesn't see it that way. If anyone has advice on how I should continue, then please let me know. It would help a lot as they are my parents and I still love them. It's hard for me to just cut them out of my life, even with favoritism. Thanks, y'all.
So I'm not gonna say cut them out. I mean, it's your parents, but at the same time, stand up for yourself. if you feel a certain way and you feel like you're being dismissed and your voice is not being heard, or you're not feeling, you're being validated, then at some point, when do you become like, doing things for you? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Whether it's your family, your sister, and all that stuff. Like, I think not focusing on the real thing. I think he keeps bringing it in by bringing in Lily. Look, I don't like the way this relationship is working. I feel a certain kind of way because of X. I don't like feeling because of Y. Like, focus on you. Can y'all get there kind of thing? Because what happens is, they put all the smoke cloud and roses and things too.
What his family said, you keep making this about you. This isn't about you.
Well, I'm telling you how I feel, so that's about me. That's not about you. So can we get back to what I'm bringing up?
But you're telling me about how you feel about what I did with my house.
No, the house part, I agree with them. They can do whatever they want with the house. They didn't let go of that.
Yeah, but then he's going to something else.
Well, because the house is
like you
just
said
a
the
symptom.
first time. I mean, that's a big ass symptom.
It is.
And like you said the first time, he's making two things one thing. But before we get into it, honey, to really speak to what you said about him bringing in two things, there's an update.
Oh, okay.
Thanks again for all the comments. Some of the more recent ones have been a wake-up call for me. Since my last update, I decided that if I was going to help with the renovations, it needed to be a team effort.
Okay.
Given that Lily is the one who's going to benefit from the house, it only seemed fair that she should help out too.
Okay.
So when my parents asked me again to assist with the renovations, I told them I'd only agree if Lily also pitched in. I made it clear that I'm not willing to do all the work while she just reaps the rewards. At first, they were resistant and said that Lily's busy with work and planning her move.
What is she
But
doing?
I stood my ground, explaining that if she's old enough to get the house, she's old enough to take on some responsibility for it too. This led to a pretty intense argument. My parents tried to guilt trip me, saying I was being unreasonable and that I should just help out because it's family. Same bullshit line.
Ooh.
Lily wasn't happy either. When I confronted her about it, she flat out refused at first. She said she didn't have the time or energy to deal with renovations and argued that our parents were the one who should handle it since they're the ones who offered her the house. I didn't back down. I told her that it wasn't fair for me to shoulder all the work while she got the house handed to her. We went back and forth for a while and it got pretty heated. Eventually, I think she realized I wasn't going to budge and she reluctantly agreed to help. It wasn't an easy win, but we've now made plans to work on the house together. She's not thrilled about it, and I can tell she's only doing it to keep the peace, but at least she's agreed to take some responsibility. I'm still not entirely happy with how things have played out, but at least I'm not the only one putting in the effort. Hopefully, this can be a step toward a more balanced relationship moving forward, though I'm not holding my breath. I'm glad I've had you guys help over the last few days. Thanks again for all the advice and support. It's been really great to hear from people who understand where I'm coming from. I'll keep you all updated if anything else happens.
Is that the last update?
That's the last update.
Well, that sounds like a little bit of a backbone growing, but that sounds like Lily ain't gonna do shit. Lily ain't gonna do shit. Because she knows once they start doing it, he not gonna stop the renovations when she says she can't do it.
So,
that sounds like...
You think that's a backbone?
Well,
I feel that's a bitch move.
I think it's bitch altogether.
I think it's a bitch move.
Because I wouldn't be doing renovations at all. If I feel that way,
first up,
take the parent out.
No, let's keep the parents in.
I'm not doing that.
You understand the renovations are on the parents' new place.
Correct.
So what is Lily reaping the benefit of the old place?
Got to do with that.
Got to do with the new place.
And I don't. The parents are manipulating the shit out of them.
Yes.
How if you got the resources to give away your old place to get a new place, and you should have factored in your renovations.
Yes.
I'm not doing that.
OP is stuck because they want to have their family but they want to have their family a certain way.
OP is carrying on this emotional trauma from childhood and is still seeking to fit in the family and get those kind of feelings from his parents. They're still seeking. They still need that. That is what it is. And so as long as they dangle that little carrot along, they can use them to do whatever they want.
I don't think the parents are dangling that. I don't think the parents care to dangle it. I think OP is hoping that they're going to eventually give it.
Yes.
But if you read this, it to me, this is all about what he's felt throughout his life.
Yes.
Because the house
No.
Like, you got to think, his parents did not die. He did not know they were moving into a new house. So he did not expect to get their house now. But now that they're giving their house up, oh, well, you should give it to me. That's not how shit works. And I understand everyone's raising their family and everyone watches Fast and Furious, so they're told family. I understand family is the most important thing, except it's not really. How do I know it's not really the most important thing? This is his family. They don't treat him like he's the most important thing.
No.
He is not the most important thing to them.
No.
I don't even know if Lily is. Sounds like where they live is, and Lily's number 2, and he's a distant 10th place. That's what it sounds like to me. But he wants it to be, well, if someone's going to get the house, I should get it. My boy, they don't even fuck with you like that. Why would they give you a house? They've made it clear.
I don't think it's that either, though. I think even if the parents put the house up to rent it out to renters, I don't think he would be bringing this up. It's the fact that they gave it to Lily and not him, because he feels sighted his whole life.
He has the right to feel how he feels.
That is what it is.
But let's just paint this picture. Someone comes to you and says, "Oh, well, you should give it to me. It's mine. I agree. I'm gonna do what I want." You don't get, because, well, I'm your firstborn child. You're right. But doesn't mean I have to give you a house.
Yeah, but the parents
it's
to
about
me are
childhood.
also doing that bullshit too. We decided to give it to her because she needs it more. Like, what?
That's a fucked up thing to say.
That's what I'm saying. It's an on. You could tell this has been on. This is his whole life.
I would have told OP, you are wrong. They do not owe you a house.
They don't.
And you do not owe them renovations.
Exactly.
And if that burns bridges, you didn't start the fire.
Yeah.
Let this bitch burn. Because that's what they did. But then, well, if I'm going to do it, Lily has to do it. Bro, either you do it because you want to do it, or you don't do it because you do not want to do it.
You don't want to do something, don't do it.
It's like you said. It's like the first thing you said. He keeps bringing this and this.
No.
This is not this.
No. Because he needs to work on
They have slighted you your whole life.
Yes.
And you're trying to.
Yes. No.
You're not going to feel better when you do these renovations.
And Lily ain't doing shit. Lily ain't doing no renovations. Nah. Because even I don't know Lily to say if she's good or bad. Lily is conditioned. This is what happens. That's how it happens for her.
Lily is conditioned that she's more important than him.
Correct.
And he's also conditioned that everyone's more important than him.
Correct.
But he still has to keep doing the thing for his family, because family comes first.
He's seeking that. He's hoping at some point they're going to see it and be like, my boy.
But they're not going to. It's been 33 years.
It ain't going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
No. It's sad and it's hard.
It's sad.
And he needs to
you know what?
To understand how to move on.
How he's been treated is unfair.
Unfair.
It is unfair.
But life is unfair.
But he's trying to make it fair with this house thing.
It's not going to happen. I feel bad for you know who I really feel bad for? The wife. His wife.
Why?
Because he bringing you. There's no way this person, this passionate to be writing in stuff and going back and forth about Lily got to help and all that stuff. He ain't taking that home to the wife. Ain't no way.
And you feel bad for the wife because her husband talks to her?
No, because I bet you she is gonna have to deal with all the years of that with him. That has to affect their relationship.
But it already would have been. That's who he is. This is part of. This is ingrained in him. He's always been
and there's
slighted.
Nothing that wife can do to stop that, because that's on him. That's what I'm saying.
He might be an amazing husband because of it, though. We don't know that that's a negative thing in his relationship.
Could be, but it can't not come.
He might constantly try to prove to her that he's worthy.
Oh, Jesus.
Because he's been shown, life has shown him that he's not worthy. You'll get love, but you get like leftover love. You're not going to get our full love. We reserve that for Lily. She needs it more. She needs more support. Yeah. No, we like you, but we love Lily. That's how they treat him. He might always try to.
He might not even like you. You just family. We gotta like you.
Family comes first, except he comes last.
Yeah. But you know that happens, and that's what I said. That happens in
that happens in real life.
That happens in non-blood family relationships in general. That's what I'm saying. Renovations for free and your time.
Yeah,
she doesn't have
but
time.
You know what? But then later on, they offered to pay him, and he said no. She has to help.
Hey, that's crazy. Let me send you an invoice, my boy.
Let's. When they say don't mix family and money, don't mix friends and money, these are the kind of scenarios. Because he's doing this from an emotional place.
Yeah.
Remember, at first they didn't offer him money. Now they want to offer him money because he said something. It's like they should just hire someone. Or better yet, they should have just bought a place that was already.
Or they should have just factored in the price for the renovations. I would have sent the invoice.
No, they factored in having him
free labor.
doing it.
Yeah, free labor.
they're kind of like the United States, and he's
I would have. Okay, listen to this
free
invoice,
labor.
and let me see what my schedule look like.
I bet you he changes his whole schedule to make sure it gets done.
I'm telling you can tell.
Because he has to.
That's right. And so the wife,
he's never had the
we were gonna
love.
go somewhere. Nope, I gotta go do these renovations. It's my parents, I gotta go do it.
Am I the asshole for walking out on a family dinner because my sister and my husband implied they were sleeping together?
Oh.
You gotta love family.
I need to hear a little more of this. Get some drink there.
Oh, you love this bullshit. This shit is toxic. My sister, 31-year-old female, and my husband, 31-year-old male, had a short relationship back when they were in high school. It wasn't anything major, but most of my family knew they were dating nonetheless. Fast forward to my husband going to a nearby state school and my sister leaving town for college. They broke up, but they still remained good friends. In the meantime, me and him got closer, and we started dating. My sister was cool with it as they had left on a good terms, and they didn't have any romantic feelings towards each other anymore. Fast forward to me, 28-year-old female, and my husband have been married for 2 years and are expecting a baby girl in October. My family usually has a big dinner every 3 months to get in touch with the whole family. We were supposed to reveal our baby's gender at this specific dinner. I had it all planned. My sister had ordered a big cake since she was the only one who knew the gender of the baby. The cake was brought out in the middle of our gathering. Once we cut it open, it was revealed that we would have a baby girl.
Aww.
I was thrilled, but my family and my husband were hoping for a boy. That's when my parents commented that we should try for a boy next time. It was a joke. We all laughed. But then my husband said, "Why wait that long?" and winked at my sister in front of my whole family.
Oh, no.
My sister laughed at that and said it wasn't a bad idea.
Oh, no.
I was confused as to what they were implying, so I questioned them about it. And my husband said, well, we could always spark up an old romance.
Oh.
I was so embarrassed and upset that I walked away from the table and stormed out of the house, got in my car, and drove to my best friend's house. When I got there, I broke down crying. I couldn't understand why they would hint at something like that, especially when they knew I've been cheated on before. When I explained the situation to my friend, she was also confused and comforted me. I slept over at her house, and I'm still currently there, but I woke up to multiple missed calls and texts from my family, mainly my sister and my husband. Everyone, including my mom and dad, think I'm overreacting, and it was just a lighthearted joke.
Nope.
My sister wants me to stop acting so childish and go back home to my husband. I was too angry to look at any of my husband's texts. So, am I the asshole for leaving and refusing to respond to my husband after he made a joke about cheating on me with my sister?
Nope.
No, you are not.
Nope. That's bullshit.
No, you are not.
Nope.
That's utter shenanigans.
Nope.
That's
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's shenanigans.
Oh no.
Oh.
Ooh, you just made me get hot in here because I'm trying to I don't have no words. No.
I don't care.
It's gonna take a whole bunch to come back from that one. Ooh. That's
You ever notice how all these stories, it's like it's just a joke. I didn't find it funny. That actually kind of like, what's the comedy there?
No.
Why just have a baby with her? Why wait for you to? What's the comedy?
No.
Explain the joke to me. Walk me through. Where's the punchline?
What? There's just certain things where it's like completely off limits. To me, that's already kind of like that's off limits always.
I gotta be honest. I wouldn't even think that would be off limits because that wouldn't even cross my mind.
No, well then clear. That's what I'm
that
saying.
wouldn't even cross my mind to put limits on it.
We have to articulate that is off limits always.
You know how like you have to write a rule of what's permissible? That wouldn't even be on the. I would not even consider that.
No.
Like. But then everyone else saying, "Why are you so upset? Why are you upset?"
But you see,
why are you upset about this? That's crazy.
That's nuts.
Your mom is shenanigning.
Yeah, because
your
my
dad
mom
is
would be like,
shenanigning.
what kind of
your
shit?
sister
What you
is shenanigning. Your husband is shenanigning.
Everybody's shenanigans.
It's utter shenanigans.
I don't even know how it could go back. It'll take me a minute. I'm not saying we like broken up, but we have to.
I'm actually not saying end the relationship,
but we'd have to work through that. We'd have to do a lot of work with that.
That's immensely messed up.
Yeah, that would take me a long time to come to grips with that.
Like, why were you so okay with that?
No, because they doubled down.
Everyone doubled down.
They doubled down and kept going with it. That's the part where I'm telling you that's not. It's like a slip of the tongue would say like, oh, we can handle that. And what do you mean by that? No, we were just joking. No, they went in and in. Nah.
What do you mean by that? Well, we could just rekindle our romance.
Yes. You see what I'm saying? That's too much.
Because we used to date. So I could have sex with her, get her pregnant. That would be the boy. He keep it in the family. But he keep it in the family. I mean, I do commend people for doing that.
He keep it in the family. See?
I do commend
the
family drama.
Oh, I can't even imagine what that thing looked like. The cake would have been everywhere. I just know me. That would have been a problem.
You know who you would have been?
Who?
2 people.
Who would I been?
You would have been Vanessa Williams' Soul Food.
You knew that was the first thing in my head.
Family, fuck my husband.
That's exactly what came to my head.
Number 2, this Christmas, when she got the shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's what came in my head. Vanessa Williams what came in my head right away.
See, I don't condone violence. I never condone violence. Honestly, I never condone violence.
Oh, yeah.
But sometimes I understand violence.
Oh.
Don't condone it. Don't want anyone to do it.
No, I hope I'm never put in that situation.
You know, she's pregnant. She's pregnant. I don't want furniture moving. She's pregnant.
Man, ain't no way. I think, you know what, asshole, I give her props for walking out like that. It would have been a mess. I probably would have said some shit. That would have been problems. I would have told that to you. What is that? What's that thing? There's like a little meaning that goes, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
You're cool. That's Jerry Maguire. No, that's not Jerry Maguire. I don't even know. I think it's Half Baked making fun of Jerry Maguire. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you.
Yes. That would have been a whole thing. And I'm turning the phone off. I'm blocking. I'm not talking to anyone until I have my peace. That would have been a no-brainer. We ain't talking.
It might have been a few days to have peace.
A few days.
It might have been a few days.
They might even know where I was at. You forget that. Family my ass.
Let's read some comments.
Okay.
The fact that 2 of the most important people in your life would even hint at something so heinous is disgusting, especially considering you're pregnant and vulnerable already.
Yep.
Shitty people all around. Are your family usually this obtuse? I can't believe how they could think you were overreacting. Is this normal behavior from your sister and husband? Not the asshole. Everyone else here sucks, except your friend, of course. She's the only one who has your back.
Yeah. Tell you. That's her family. She went to her family.
Man, all these comments say the same thing. Yeah. These people are trash.
And fuck all them people. That's a problem. I have a problem with that. 1,000%.
Trash money.
You overreacted. Woo. Y'all laughing about it. He. We can just begin love for a romance. Bitch. Oh, I can just, oh boy. The Taurus in me would have come out.
The Taurus in me.
Oh. Woo.
The Taurus in me.
Yes.
That sounds like a book.
Like the bull's coming. Oh, that would have been bad. Oh no. Can't be in situations like that. That's not good for me. I'm still growing. That's what I would have done.
Jesus is still working on my spirit.
I'm a work in progress. But I'm going to have to handle this today right here. Good luck on that, boy. Me and this girl out.
So here's the story, but let's just get into it.
Okay, let's go.
Am I the asshole for not getting my daughter a car after she publicly disrespected me?
Nope. You ain't got to get a daughter in a car, no house. So it don't matter what the reason was.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Let's see how we define public disrespect.
Okay.
So last week, me, my wife, and 2 kids went out to the zoo for my daughter's 23rd birthday.
Oh, okay.
First of all, I was like, I can't imagine being 23 and be like, hey, family, let's go to the zoo. That's me. Nothing wrong with it.
That's me too.
Nothing wrong with it. Just.
I can't see me at any age. I'm like outside.
When I was 23, that wasn't my thing.
Not at all. Just zoo.
We were having a great time. While leaving an enclosure, some woman sort of cuts us off and pushed in front of us to get out first. She didn't actually touch us, and it wasn't that big a deal, but it was a little obnoxious. And I said, there's no need to push ahead, love. Mm-hmm. She responded with something like, how did I push ahead? It's not like there's a queue. I just tutted and thought, whatever, not worth it. But then some giant guy who was apparently her son, I didn't realize this because they looked very different, i.e. she was white and he was mixed. Not that it matters.
Uh-huh.
Not that it matters.
Not that it matters. Uh-huh.
Said to her, what? Does someone have a problem, Mom? And she pointed me out. Her son then turned around and started aggressively antagonizing me for no reason, telling me to keep my comments to myself, calling me a bitch, a Karen, and he kept calling me tiny, saying I had little man syndrome. Just
shit.
really off the wall stuff for what I thought was a benign comment.
Okay. I just got the visual of this.
Then, for some reason, my daughter felt the need to take up for the guy and started saying stuff like, why are you like this? Why do you feel the need to say something? And then started apologizing to the guy and agreed with him that I am a Karen.
Oh.
I was really taken aback by this. Then the guy asks, how old is she? And she tells him, and he asks for her number, and she gives it to him.
Oh.
He hands his phone over to her, and she types in her number. Whole time, this guy is staring at me with a shit-eating grin on his face. When my daughter comes back over to us, I ask her, what the hell was that? And she just says, what? He's cute, and you need to be put in your place every once in a while.
Oh.
I said, since that's what she thinks, she can buy her own car for her birthday.
Okay.
She clearly thought I wasn't serious because she asked if we can look at cars, and I told her she can look herself because I'm still not paying for it. This has divided my house, with my son taking my side, saying she was out of line, and my wife saying it's not worth ruining my relationship with her over.
Okay.
I feel like if not getting her car as punishment is enough to ruin our relationship, I probably spoiled her too much anyway. She already has a car that I bought her 2 years ago, which works fine.
Yep.
So it's not like I'm exactly depriving her.
Nope.
Am I the asshole?
Nope. Nope.
He got a lot of questions. He answered them briefly. One, the car I bought her 2 years ago was a runaround Fiat 500, secondhand. It's in fine shape, but not exactly the nicest. I promised my daughter an Audi as my son is going traveling for his 21st birthday, which I'm paying for. The car she wanted was roughly the same cost. Two, she doesn't live at home. She hasn't since she moved out for university at 18. Three, I don't feel like I'm a Karen, but I'm not shy to speak up, complain if I feel I must. I'm not saying he's a Karen. I'm just saying the way he said that part. I don't know.
I don't know why you addressed that one.
If people are rude or something is not up to my standard,
Okay.
I will happily say something. 4, I realistically couldn't beat up the 6'4", whatever, 20-something-year-old mouthing off to me. I am 47 years old and have worked an office job for the last 20, 30 years and have a bad back.
You got soft hands.
That's crazy. I'm not much younger than this gentleman. I'm confident I can beat up a 20-year-old. Now, I'm not saying I can beat up every 20-year-old.
Yeah. Well, he's just saying no.
He's just saying no. I got
that life.
The way my back's set up, I couldn't.
Like,
I couldn't
that
even.
life. Nah.
Hey! Are you got a problem, old man?
Yes. No. I got a problem that I'm still here. I got to go.
You want some too, old man? No. Got me around here messing with these people. My grandmama gave me that chain.
I don't think you asked at all. You can buy whatever you want to buy when you want to buy it for who you want to buy. You want to buy it that pissed him off? That's good. That's
you know what I notice in a lot of these stories?
These things.
He promised his daughter a car because he's paying for his son to go on a vacation for his 21st birthday.
Yeah.
You have siblings. I have siblings. Your mom and dad made sure everything was exactly equal?
No.
My parents, man, please.
No.
Equal.
No.
I done gave you your life.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing I got to give.
I think some people look for that for validation or do the comparison kind of thing, which really there's no.
If I looked for that, I'd be feeling some kind of way.
I know, but it's I think you have to get to a point where that's not like they do not have to do that. And people, I mean, families are just organized as relationships as a group of people. People can treat people how they feel they want to be treated. I mean, they're at the zoo. He already bought the car. Like, really, I think parents are just supposed to provide the essentials for the children.
A car is not an essential.
No, it's not. All these extra
And I
things,
bought you that starter car.
You already got a car. You need to figure out what to do with that the Fiat. That's not a cheap car either. And the Audi, come on now. What's your 23 years old with an Audi? That's just different worlds. Figure out yourself.
There's an update.
Ooh, it's an update. He beat his ass. Came around the house. Said, "Here, take out your daughter." He called Mike. Now that would have been funny.
Who's Mike?
From Bad Boys 2. Isn't it Mike Lowry?
Oh. Am I the asshole for not getting my daughter a car after she publicly disrespected me? So, I got home about an hour ago and my wife called me into the room to talk. She gave me an ultimatum. She said I can either swallow my pride and buy my daughter the car, or she will buy the car out of her own money. My wife doesn't earn as much as me, but still has a well-paying job and can afford it. Don't threaten me. Don't threaten me like that.
Okay. Go ahead. Do you? Do you, boo?
There's no threat in that scenario.
At all. Go ahead. That's your money. Do what you
I would have
want.
loved that ultimatum. Be like, I'm glad we had this talk.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we had this talk.
Enjoy that.
She said that everyone is sick of my attitude in public, that every time we go out, I get in some sort of altercation or disagreement with someone over some petty shit. I think this is a gross over-exaggeration, but my wife showed me text from my daughter asking if she can go out with just my wife because I always do something to embarrass everyone. My wife refused and defended me, saying that's not true, and that's why when I got in that argument with my wife, said nothing about my daughter's actions. She said she isn't going to punish my daughter because I can never keep my mouth shut, especially when my daughter said she didn't want me there because something like this would happen, and she defended me only to be made to look like a fool.
Oh.
She says that my daughter barely likes me as it is, and if I do this, I shouldn't be shocked when she stops talking to me completely.
Okay.
I asked my wife if all I am to my daughter is a piggy bank,
Yep.
and she told me to stop playing the victim. She said it's up to me what I do with my money, but my daughter will be getting the car one way or another. So I can either make her hate me for no reason, or I can swallow my pride and get her the car myself.
Nah.
Don't really know where to go from here.
Nah. Don't buy the car.
And here's where I feel very conflicted.
Don't buy the car then.
If all I ever do is embarrass you,
Yep. Then why you want my
and you
embarrassing
don't even
car?
like me.
Why you want my embarrassing
she
car?
said, my daughter barely likes me as it is. Why you want a car? Where's your integrity?
Yeah. Screw
I
that
don't. Why
shit.
you want a car from me? You can't stand me, but you want the car?
Nope.
I'm sorry. Another car?
Nope. That's it.
So I'm not saying he's not problematic.
I'm not either.
He
I'm
sounds
saying
super
the whole
problematic.
family needs some therapy. They need to talk to some people. They need to understand, because it seems like there's more to it than how he's describing. We're only hearing one side of this altercation here, and he probably has a tendency to be extra and stuff, and that's affecting the family.
The first comment is, well, info. How often do you get in altercations with strangers?
Exactly. So I think there's something there, but again, I think people are conflating this discussion. Like, this is just a symptom.
He can both be an asshole,
yes,
and still not buy her the car.
Correct. I'm not buying no car, because then if you got problems already and you already saying that you barely likes her, and all you're gonna do is make her not. So what's the next thing? Like, he buy her the car, and then what? He don't take her to dinner, and now she don't like him. Like, it's just a matter of time.
Didn't get her those Cowboy Carter tour tickets.
Yeah, screw that shit. Bye. Go ahead and buy it.
Well, that's why there is another update.
Oh, give it to me.
Give it to me.
Funky sweet, that funky nesta.
Sorry, I didn't really respond. A lot happened yesterday. After everything, I called my daughter over because I wanted to talk about everything. My wife said to just let it go, but clearly everyone had a problem with me that I didn't know about. So I wanted to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
See, sometimes you don't want to know everything, bro.
But see, you're not a professional either, so you be careful what you open up into there.
Yeah. That little man syndrome going to come out
Yep.
again. So I waited for my son to get home, and my daughter drove around a little later. We all sat down and decided to talk. I started by doing what many of you suggested and asked for actual examples, rather than just accepting their word for it. And honestly, a lot of it sounded ridiculous. The fact that I sent back a steak twice because both times it was undercooked, as if it's a crime to want a 180-pound steak cooked correctly. That's pounds as in currency. The story is taking place in the UK.
Okay.
The fact that I argued with someone who sat in our assigned seats at the cinema, even though it was nearly empty, again, as if it's a crime to want to sit in the seat I paid for when there's dozens of other places for these people to sit. And other equally silly things, which I can't be bothered to get into and don't even really remember as a result of the insignificance of it. It's giving Larry David. Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I don't know who that is.
Despite me thinking that it was all ridiculous, I said I would do my best to be a meek pushover in public if that was the only way to get them to like me.
Damn.
And that I would get the car on one condition, that my daughter hadn't actually texted the guy who abused me.
Ooh.
First off, he didn't abuse you. Stop. We got to stop throwing around some of these terms. There are people who are actually abused.
Yeah.
This guy just called you a bitch.
Basically, with little man hands.
Which, you know, I'm not saying you are or you aren't. I'm just saying He didn't exactly abuse you. You didn't like the conversation. He didn't like what you said to his mom.
Correct.
I asked to look at her messages, and she said not to even bother because she had texted him and I didn't have the right to control who she talks to. I said that is true, but I do have the right to spend my money on whatever I want, and I'm not getting my daughter a car. She has one that works fine, and even if I am an ass, in a situation where her family is getting threatened, she sided with the aggressor and then doubled down on that, and that's unforgivable. My daughter blew up at me and said I'm a petty little pig-headed man with a Napoleon complex and that all the money in the world hasn't stopped me from being a fucking loser.
Ooh.
I said, oh yeah? Because the guy who screams at old men is such a winner? And she screamed at me that I'm not a victim. And then something about how cathartic it was to watch someone stand up to me. And that how the second he did, she watched me shrink back into the little bitch I'd always been growing up.
Woo!
That was the last straw. I told her to get out.
That's right.
But she doubled down and told me that my wife had told them about me being bullied growing up. And that was why I am the way I am. I saw my wife turn pale as a ghost at this comment.
Damn.
This is something I confided in her in private. Clearly, this is why my daughter stopped respecting me.
Damn.
Obviously, I wasn't cool enough for her or whatever. I was speechless, but my daughter carried on. She said, make a genuine promise to Jake he can still go to Cambodia and ask him what he really thinks. I just nodded. Her brother begged not to be put in the middle of this, but I insisted. All he said was, sometimes you can be a bit much, Dad. My daughter called him a pussy and just walked out. My son ran off to his room and my wife drove off after my daughter. She didn't come back last night. I've not heard from my wife or daughter since. I've called out of work. My son left for university without saying a word to me. I've barely slept a wink. I can't believe I'm a cliche, a rich old man whose family hates him.
Damn.
If I was lost before, now I'm genuinely clueless about what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, man. That's the end?
First comment says, your self-perception isn't in line with reality, and I think that the way you're viewing these interactions is very different from the way they look from the outside. The fact you consider choosing your battles to be acting as a meek pushover is very revealing. You don't have to react to every little thing, and it sounds like you do. Behavior like that is immensely stressful for the people around you.
Damn. Oh, this is terrible. I feel kind of bad for him.
I don't feel bad for him because I think this is a symptom. The car is not the actual problem.
No, the car not the problem.
He has been like this. He's probably a rich old man. He's probably thought his money can let him talk to people or his family some kind of way.
That's fair. I'm not saying he's not an asshole.
Look at it like this. Look at it like this.
But you can still have. I still feel bad for assholes.
Yeah, you know, like you said in one of our classmate letters, there are consequences to your actions.
Correct.
Well, if that dad had these actions and the consequences where our classmate does not want to be around their dad, here are the consequences.
Fair.
And if he's been an asshole for the past 23 years, just because you're buying a car now doesn't make you not an asshole.
Then don't be wanting a car then. That's what I'm saying. It's both sides.
Okay, but you trained me, right? And this is a lot of conjecture. I don't know this
the
to
other
be true.
side. You only know
But let's just say he's a rich old man.
Yep.
Well, you trained me to interact with you transactionally.
Correct.
And now that I'm interacting with you the way you trained me to, you're upset.
I didn't say all that could be
again, we don't know that to be true.
But I still have empathy for this.
I recognize your empathy, and I'm glad you have empathy for him.
I still have some for him, though.
When you bring this on yourself.
I agree. He's
because
responsible.
the son said the same thing.
He's responsible.
The mom said the same thing.
I agree.
And the daughter's just fed up. But they all feel the same way.
Yeah.
So chances, I'm not saying, we don't know, but chances are all three of them are not conspiring to make him feel bad. Chances are he really does take things to an extreme, talks recklessly. Look how he said this. This is why my daughter lost respect because of what my wife said. That's not why your daughter lost respect. His daughter lost respect because he doesn't show respect.
Correct.
And the thing that drives me batty about parents is when you do not respect the child and then expect the child to respect you because I'm your parent. Yeah. That's not the way respect works.
Yeah, I get it. And I'm not saying I disagree with all of that. I just that's how he's been conditioned to battle life.
Cool. And but that's not his kid's fault.
Agreed. I agree.
So the same way, so we had OP who was going to do renovations, even though he definitely should not do the renovations.
I agree.
And that's how his parents trained him in life, that he's not good enough.
I agree.
But this guy trained his kids and his wife that he's an asshole. He's belligerent.
Yeah.
He talks to people reckless in public consistently.
Yeah.
And you want them to respect you? Why?
I don't. So, like, and again, we're only taking context of what he's saying because the examples he gave, those are all things I know that I would have complained.
They are.
And my mom would
You're
complain.
right. You're totally right.
That's just the way that is.
Babe,
and
you
maybe
are totally right.
And maybe the others in this family are the ones that are just like pushed over a little bit too. Because they can have those. They can have those scenarios too.
Asking him not to be, as the son said, a bit much. Okay, I'll just be a meek pushover.
I know he went from one extreme to the other. I agree. I agree with you.
So you're right. Given the examples he's given,
yeah,
you want to give him the benefit of the doubt. He might, you're right. I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
those examples, yeah, my steak's undercooked. Me sending it back isn't
twice.
Isn't
then
me,
I'm ready to leave. I agree.
That's not me being a problem. That's y'all not cooking
y'all
the
sit
steak.
in my seat. I don't care the whole theater. I paid for those two. You can sit everywhere else in the theater. I feel the same way.
But we can take his reactions to these other things.
Right. I hear you.
Maybe I'm wrong. I can be wrong, but it seems to me that his family has dealt with this for a long time.
He's got a history.
And they are sick of it. And that's why there's a final update.
Oh, there's a final update. Because it seems like the son is kind of like, the son seems like he don't want to be involved in either or the way.
The son still wants to go on his trip.
That's true. He has vested interest.
When you act like a wallet, you can't get mad that I treat you like a wallet.
But he originally said in the beginning that the house was split because the son was on his side.
About the car.
Right.
You can be a bit much, Dad. A
bit much meaning like, yeah, you'd embarrassed me before because, I've been embarrassed because we've been out in the way. But that doesn't, I think their parents are like that.
You think
there are people like that.
Maybe the daughter's sick of it.
Well, then that's fine. She'll
and it sounds like the wife is sick of it.
Okay.
And it sounds like the son's saying, yeah.
Well, I can see. Some kind of say like, yeah, I can see why they feel like that. I don't really care.
Yeah, because he wants to go to Cambodia.
That's right.
Take Cambodia off the table. He'll probably let you know what he really think.
No, I think people listen, honey. This is the part where to me, I understand and I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. But they have also loved this cushy rich man life, and that's how he's gotten to where he is. That's how he feels that he has to be, and they've reaped all the benefits from that too. You see what I'm saying? So the son kind of to me is saying, at this cost, this is what it costs to be a part of this.
The reason why I don't think that's fair is when I'm 5 and 6, I don't have a choice to be a part of this.
Yes, but she's 23.
Now.
Yes.
So the same way we said the 33-year-old OP from the other one was conditioned through childhood.
I agree.
To do these renovations that he definitely shouldn't do.
Yes.
She's 23. She's been conditioned.
Then be on your own then.
But she lives on her own.
No, she's still asking for a car.
He offered a car.
Right, but now I'm taking it off the table, so move on. I see what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you. The car comes at this expense.
The way he frames it,
being a Karen.
The way he has framed it,
yes,
is look how my daughter disrespected me when I was going to buy her a car.
No, I agree with you.
But the way it seems to really be is, I'm an asshole and I was going to buy a car. And why are you upset that I'm an asshole?
That's what it costs to get the car. You got to be around the asshole. You don't want to be around the asshole, then you get your own car.
Chris Rock had a joke one time, and he said, for America and black people, America is like the uncle that paid for you to go to college, but he molested you.
Yeah.
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 So to reap the benefits, just a little.
No, because, normally that person didn't have.
But that's not her, it's not her fault. You trained me to see you as a wallet.
I hear you.
You lacked empathy.
I agree with you.
You lacked emotions, and now you want me to have emotions for you?
I agree 1,000%.
Everyone has been asking for an update, so here it is. Though there isn't really much to tell, which means this is the longest one, so that's crazy that there isn't much to tell. My daughter blocked me everywhere since she left. I did go to reach out, but saw she had blocked me. I haven't heard anything since. My wife is staying with her parents, and is refusing to come home unless I agree to individual therapy and family therapy, which I'm still refusing because I feel it is a waste of time. No. I know myself and I know my mind. So what? I like to complain sometimes. That doesn't make me mentally ill. My son and I are probably the biggest update, I guess. We are falling out hard. He is blaming me for tearing the family apart by being stubborn. He says I drove my daughter away and I drove my wife away, and I'm going to drive him away too unless I try to make it right with everyone. He is mainly mad at me for refusing my wife's demands to therapy. He is still living at home as it is close to university, but he says that if I'm not at least trying to make it right by the time he finishes, he will leave and not look back. It turns out the reason his sister called him a pussy is that he actually agrees with her more than he let on. He says that I'm a bully, that I bully and get condescending and rude to people in public and then play the victim if anyone calls me out on it. He says I am rude to everyone, everywhere I go, and that I'm rude to everyone at home too. He says that I lord my money over people and that if anyone disagrees with anything I do, I take it away. He said my daughter hasn't liked me since she was 16.
Damn.
And that she always talked about escaping me. He said she never even expected me to actually go through with getting the car because she knew I'd snatched it away the first time she did something I didn't like. Apparently, the whole thing was a test. She had made it clear to everyone that if I did in fact snatch the car away at the last second, she planned to never speak to me again. My son knew this. My wife knew this. That's why my wife was so adamant on me getting the car for my daughter. That's why my daughter was so upset about me not getting it, because in her mind, that was me finally killing the relationship. He also told me that my wife has defended me for years and years, that she didn't betray my trust, but she told the story of my upbringing to try and stop him and his sister from hating me. He said my daughter has openly said she should have left me for years.
Damn.
And that my wife always told her off for that. But now I finally pushed her away too. He admitted he never thought she would ever actually leave me, but said he's proud of her for standing up to me finally. He said he doesn't care if I take away his birthday trip, that he wants me to fix the family, and that it is more important than some holiday. I've decided I'm not going to take away his holiday, as that would probably just give them even more ammo against me. But I'm also not doing therapy. They may need therapy. I don't. I am fine with who I am. I like myself, even if they don't. That's basically it.
Okay, so he's gonna be a rich old man by himself.
No, he's more than a rich old man by himself. He's a rich old man whose family hates him.
Yeah.
They hate him so much they won't even lie to his face for his money.
Right, because that's the condition of the money.
First comment says, everybody who knows you best has the same view of how you behave towards others. Those who have lived with you, your wife insists you need therapy or she'll leave. Your son is telling you that you need therapy. Your daughter is done. You're in complete denial.
Oh, sometimes people got to get rock bottom. Or maybe he never gets it.
Most likely he never gets it.
Yeah. He say he good. So,
We'll see how good it is.
well, that's his cross to bear.
I, 18-year-old female, am going to be quitting gymnastics, and my mother, 41-year-old female, is having a mental breakdown over it because me doing it is her entire life. How do I deal with this when it makes me feel guilty?
Oh,
That's the title.
damn.
That's the title.
That's a lot to unpack there.
That's the title. I started gymnastics when I was 2 years old. It's my mother's obsession. She is from a former member of the Soviet Union, where it is very popular. I would say that was probably the thing that she was most excited about since I was born. She started stretching me when I was very young, running, resistance training, literally anything that might make me better at it than anyone else. And I am quite good at it. I don't want to sound full of myself, but I have won a lot of things. But I can't say I've ever enjoyed it very much. It isn't something that I'd willingly do for fun, but it is sort of the only thing my mother does. She was one of those parents that would stay through entire practices. It was really embarrassing and only stopped when I was 16, maybe. She spent all her time stitching my leotards, taking me to practices, competitions, buying hair things. Her whole life is my gymnastics. I don't really think she has any hobbies. I turned 18 recently and I also finished school, which I'm happy about. It's really boring. I will do my military service and then I want to go to university. I want to be a doctor. I've had a lot of bone and muscle issues and I would like to be able to help people with that.
No.
Plus, being able to literally replace someone's joint in a way is really cool. And I want to do things like that. I know I will as well. The test, etc., aren't too difficult. I'm really excited about all of it. And it's all that I've wanted to do. But my mother, she is kind of having a breakdown. I'm not a mental health expert, but she's always crying, yelling at me, and just being weird. She says she doesn't want me to leave, that I'm wasting all that she's done for me, and it's going to be worthless, that I'm not talented enough at anything else.
Damn.
I don't appreciate her. I hate her. I'm going to get fat, all those things. She's always crying. It's really embarrassing and weird. She was never like this before. I don't really know what to do. Obviously, I don't want to continue with gymnastics, but I feel kind of guilty about making her so distressed. And it's kind of hard to say no to her. I know what I want, But when she's so unhappy with it, it's kind of hard.
That's the end?
That's the end.
Damn, that's messed up. But OP got to do what they want to do. She can't live life for her mom. And the mom needs to find something else to do. That's all, basically.
Yeah, but I get how it's hard for the OP.
No, it's super hard. I'm not saying it wouldn't be. But ultimately, they need to learn how to live life for them. And that's going to be hard. And then I think I would just look at it that it's not all in vain, because like she did something. Gymnastics is very disciplined. There's a lot of rigor there, of like form and over repetition to get things right. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a way to get the mom to see that that's prepared her for what she needs to do in life. Bigger than even if she's not doing the actual sport. I think sometimes people get lost into like, oh, I'm not going to do it. Like a lot of people I work with, I went to school for X, right? And I need to do something in my career for X because I spent all this money and time to do X. Yeah. And it'll be a waste of time if I don't do X. And it's like, yeah, I can see that if you're passionate about it, but sometimes just going through all those steps to do X prepared you for what you really wanted to do, or explore something else, because those disciplines and things that you've learned will help prepare you for something you actually genuinely like. It doesn't
sometimes
necessarily
it's
mean
those
that.
soft skills. Sometimes it's the direct skill. I'm very fortunate. My dad always told me, my dad really instilled in me, especially when I got to grad school, that the degree is just so I can write my ticket. The degree isn't the thing that's going to like make my life. Oh, the degree.
Yeah.
The degree is ultimately a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper I have not seen in years. It has a lot of dust on it. I for what I do, I still need my degree.
Yes.
I'm glad I have my degree.
For your specific things, right?
Yeah.
But like how you're expanding into coaching,
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's built off of your years of experience and the things that you've learned in dealing with people and relationships that's prepared you for that. And yes, you've gotten that from exploring and that, but this is where people don't understand transferable skills. Yeah. It doesn't mean that just because you did X, you must stay in X. And I think if they have that healthy conversation, or the mom understanding that, they understand that what she's doing will not like take away all that. It's not in vain what she did. I think the real problem is the mama ain't got no hobby or anything. Like she need to go find out something for her.
First comment: you are not the extension of your parent, and you are free to choose what is best for you.
Yeah.
There's more to it, but that's really the thing.
But that's hard to do at 18 years old, to tell your mom, hey, look.
You see that other guy, it's hard for him to do at 33.
Yeah,
he about to go do some renovations he does not want to do.
Exactly. I hear you.
I think it's harder at a lot of ages.
Yes.
Because you feel that elite. You love your parent.
Yes.
A lot of times you love these people.
Yes.
I bet you even the daughter that's not getting the car, I bet you she loves her dad, but damn, why are you like this?
I don't know. She seemed like she don't.
A lot of times people love you, they do not like you.
That's true too.
You definitely don't like them.
That's true too. That's true. I think people get those two, love and like, confused.
Here's one that's not exactly a family thing, but it was too good for me to not read.
Okay.
My girlfriend, 24-year-old female, reminded me, 28-year-old male, to pay her back $10 after I forgot my wallet. I paid for almost everything over 4 years, and it left me feeling weird. Again, that's the title.
Oh, boy.
These are some long-ass titles today.
Wow.
I, male 28, have been with my girlfriend, female 24, for 4 years. We're serious, planning to get married. Throughout the relationship, I've paid for nearly everything. Dates, trips, food, gifts, you name it. I'd say easily 99% of all expenses were covered by me. She never really offered to split or pay, and I never asked her to. I was working full-time and doing well financially, so I didn't mind. Recently, though, I quit my job because I was mentally exhausted. I've been going through a bit of a burnout and needed a break. She, on the other hand, is currently working full-time and doing fine financially. The other day, we went out and she wanted a bubble tea. I forgot my wallet and my phone was dead, so I asked her to pay for it. It was like $10. She paid, drank it, and I dropped her off at her apartment. The next morning, she reminded me to send her the money.
What?
I had completely forgotten, so I sent it right away.
Oh, no.
But it left a weird feeling. I've spent thousands on her over the years.
Oh, no.
Never asked for a dime back. And now that I'm out of a job and she's doing well, she couldn't let a $10 bubble tea slide. It's not about the money. It's about what it says. I can't tell if I'm overthinking this or it's a red flag. I've always treated the relationship as a partnership, and this just felt transactional. Am I being too sensitive, or is this worth paying attention to?
Yeah, red flag all that stuff.
Let me read some comments.
He's a pimp. No, she's a pimp.
Well, she's attempting to pimp. Let me read some comments. Because a lot of the comments emphasize the same thing. First comment. So let me get this straight. You are unemployed. Your girlfriend buys herself a drink.
Yeah.
And then next morning, she asks you to send her the money for said drink that she bought for herself.
She drinking. Y'all ain't split it or nothing.
And you want to marry this person?
You ain't get a croissant or nothing like that. She got a tea and drank the tea and you had to pay for it. I tell you.
Next comment says, while he's unemployed due to burnout, no less.
Yeah.
And the next comment says, oh yeah, this guy definitely needs a drink.
A little stronger than a tea.
I'm going to read one more comment because this person used a lot of capitals. Excuse me, sir. Are you saying that she wanted bubble tea for herself and expected you to pay?
Yeah.
And because you couldn't pay it, she had to pay her own bubble tea herself. And now you have to give her money for the bubble tea she paid because she wanted it? That's just weird. I mean, I would understand if you offered, forgot your wallet, and said, go on, I'll give you the money later. But she invited herself for you to pay her bubble tea?
Listen, honey, they're in a romantic relationship. I'm telling you, if my friend or anybody did some shit like that, that's done. I can't hang around people like that. $10? Now, I can see if it was like a substantial amount. Hey, we're doing something. I need $5,000. I give it right back to you. I need to do something. $10? I can't. Here's your $10. Don't talk to me. I can't.
I'm going to be honest with you.
For life.
I would feel a kind of way.
That's it.
Even if he drank the bubble tea.
Yeah.
Like, let's say she got it for him and then she asked for the money back.
Yeah.
I'd feel a kind of way.
No, I feel a way regardless.
But the fact
that it was for her.
That it's for her.
I can't.
And she needs you to reimburse her for her drink.
No, this broke shit. I'm not talking about like financially stable. And don't get me wrong about that. This is broke mentality shit. And that's somebody I could not be with.
That's not broke mentality.
That's broke shit.
That's not broke mentality.
I need my $10.
That's what? This is your role, and we will never deviate from the role. No. Remember the time I told you I was recording that podcast for people, and the woman said if she was madly in love with her husband, been married 10 years, had 2 kids with him, it had always been great, and he paid for everything, and then he lost his job, she's giving him 1 month, and then she's leaving him?
Yep.
That's this mentality.
I can't.
This is nuts.
That's fucked up.
There is an update.
No, let's get to it.
Thanks to everyone who commented. I've been reading everything, and it really helped me step back and see things clearly. When we started dating, we were both students. I was finishing engineering and already had a job lined up. I also worked as a TA, so I was doing fine financially. She was still a student, so I paid because she was broke. I never asked her to pay, and she never offered. Still never offered to split anything, not even the small stuff. I tried bringing up equality and shared effort, but she always shut it down with comments like, you're the man, you should take care of me, or we can't have 2 women in the relationship.
Oh.
What really got to me is that when I stopped proposing dates or doing everything, she started saying I wasn't making enough effort. Meanwhile, I've been carrying this for 4 years. The bubble tea wasn't about the $10. It was about realizing how little support I was getting back. She showed you who she is.
Well,
do with that what you will.
You know what that just means? They're just not equally yoked. They just don't. They're just different.
She needs someone who pays for 100% of things.
I saw an article. What's that guy that sings that song? This Is America.
Donald Glover?
Yes.
Childish Gambino?
Yeah, he's no longer with his fiance or something because she said she had a traditional wife or something like that. I didn't get into all the specifics, and they broke up. I think it is. And if I'm wrong, don't come for me because I don't pay attention to all of it too much. But what I'm just saying is she's already defined. You're the man, and that's how it's supposed to be in the relationship. And she should pay for nothing, which is okay because there are men that are okay with that. He needs to understand if that's okay with him.
I'm one of those men that's okay with that.
No, you're not.
I'm totally okay with that.
You okay with that?
Yes.
You gonna pay for everything?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to send me the I don't even have.
Let me get back to you. You bought me some chicken wings. Let me.
No.
Let's settle this up right now.
I'm finishing my Vietnamese coffee. You didn't pay for it. I need you to.
Oh,
I need you
shit.
to send me the money, because I paid for it.
I got it. I got you.
Okay, I need you to send it to me.
I got you. I'm gonna need to see the receipt though.
That's crazy.
And in our final story.
All right.
I met my stepdaughter's boyfriend yesterday. Had to share this. My stepdaughter introduced me to her boyfriend yesterday. He's a really nice young man, personable and outgoing, great sense of humor. My wife has known him for years and adores him. They make a lovely couple. At the end of the night, my stepdaughter said to me that she was glad that I'd finally got to meet him because she knew that we would get on well, as she felt that he and I were so very much alike in our interest and temperament. She actually said that her new boyfriend was a lot like me. I had a few quiet moments when she said that. It's a great reminder that who you are as a man defines the sort of man that your children will let into their lives as well.
Absolutely.
I will have to tell her how much that meant to me for her to say that. It just might take a while before I can do so without tearing up.
Oh,
I'm a very lucky man.
yeah. I like that.
2%.
Yeah.
Happy stories.
That's a good one. That is true though. That is very, very, very true.
Y'all thought I was only gonna have terrible family stuff.
I like that. That's very
2%.
true though. I think, and I think that's the missing part where people don't realize that, right? That you're setting examples of what people want in their relationships. I think that goes for both men and women, right?
Yeah.
It's very important. The youth is taking. They're going to be who they want to be, but they also have to, it's like babies. You do things, they mimic you. That's how you learn, and you learn what you want, you don't want, that kind of thing. So, I love to see that. That's good.
So read a lot of stories. Do you remember them?
I remember some of them.
I will read you the titles because remember we're supposed to do some rankings every once in a while.
Okay.
We're not gonna do it every time. 'Cause I just don't remember, but
Okay.
we could do it this time. So I'll read you the stories. Mm-hmm. We're not gonna include the one where it was just a bunch of dark family secrets.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for walking out on a family dinner because my sister and my husband implied they were sleeping together? Am I the asshole for refusing to help my parents after they gave my sister their house? I'm quitting gymnastics. My mother's freaking out. My girlfriend reminded me to pay her back $10. And I got to meet my stepdaughter's boyfriend yesterday.
Would you want to know the worst one?
I guess worst equals best. Best equals worst. I don't know. The one that was most intriguing or engaging.
That
for you.
one with the sister and the husband, it was the one that got me all the way
Oh, yeah,
riled
that's out
up.
of pocket. That's out of pocket.
That one got me all the way riled up.
Oh,
The
well,
other
don't
stuff-
forget. I'm not going to buy my daughter the car anymore.
I know that one, but that one to me, there's a lot in there. I think there's a lot of things in there, and that to me is more typical than not. That one with the sister and the husband, nah. That's unacceptable.
I
Out of order.
completely agree with you.
Out of order.
For me, though we talked the most about the car one,
Yeah.
I think the story that for me was the refusing to help my parents after they gave my sister a house.
Yeah.
Because I empathize with OP. It is unfair, but the unfair part is most of your life. This house thing is this is what they've been doing. Why are you
I told you,
surprised?
that's just one of the outcomes of it all. That person needs therapy. They need some healing energy.
But just to show you, everything isn't cheating, and everything is sometimes it be your own people's.
Or it might be some cheating, or it's a hint at some cheating, or some future cheating. That thing with the sister and the husband, nah, can't.
Or maybe you're cheating yourself by going over to do those renovations that you really should not be doing.
Yeah, but you know what? That kind of person to me is gonna always be like that.
Would you consider that toxic?
That is some toxic shit.
Which means it's time for toxic confessions.
Okay, here we go.
You thought you wasn't gonna get toxic confessions?
I don't know.
You can only skip toxic confessions like once a quarter. You can't be skipping toxic confessions regular.
Okay.
Unique found out I was married. We've been fucking for a year.
Oh.
So she put
Oh, that went all the way the other way. Jesus. Wow.
obviously we curse.
Okay.
It's not that we don't curse. We curse in this show all the time. It's just sometimes the placement of the cursing just kind of throws me. I'll continue.
Okay.
Unique found out I was married. We've been fucking for a year. So she put my clothes in a pot, soaked everything in lighter fluid, and lit it on fire.
Damn.
She did this on TikTok Live.
Damn.
An explosion of flames hit her face and seared her lashes, eyebrows, and lace front wig.
Oh, no.
She ended the live stream and deleted it, but I saw it.
Boomerang.
I raced to her apartment and drove her to the ER. I waited with her for hours. I ignored my wife's calls. I couldn't believe my situation. This formerly sexy woman who loved me for no reason at all disfigured her face. I asked, why would you do this? She gave several rambling reasons and vomited on the floor. How gross. I called my wife in front of her and basically said I was in the ER because of this hoe I fucked for a long time.
Damn.
God damn.
Damn. Jeez.
Oh my goodness. I called my wife in front of her and basically said I was in the ER because this hoe I fucked for a few times long ago burned her face off because I wouldn't leave my marriage. My wife gave a long sigh, then asked, do you love her? I said, I love you and only you. Unique was so hurt when I said this. Wife demanded I come home and I left that gross monster in the ER.
Wow.
Months later, her face healed and she told me she was pregnant. I told her I didn't want her kid. I said terrible things to make her hate me. I revealed that my wife was also pregnant and our child was the only child I wanted. Finally, Unique said, I cheated on you. He has a much bigger meat and hit my cat much deeper. So there's a 70% chance that my child is his and he wants it. Baby was born and the kid isn't mine. She's posting pics with the three of them and I want her back.
Oh, no.
I can't stop thinking about what she said, that he was bigger and went deeper. Basically, his sperm beat mine. My wife gave me a son, but I also want to put a baby in Unique too. But she's not responding. What's wrong with her? How to fix this?
This guy's out of order.
This I believe.
This guy needs to be thrown out.
This I believe.
This guy is bad for the whole ecosystem.
Trash
That
money.
person needs to be out. Bad human, cancel, out.
I believe this one.
I do.
I believe this one.
I do. That's a terrible. That's a predator. You know how they say like all the lizards, the different lizards and stuff.
Oh.
He is bad.
Why you going? Don't do it. Why you starting talking about lizards?
I'm not gonna talk about
just today.
I'm not gonna talk about it.
Just today, I saw some shit with lizards.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because I saw something too.
What you saw?
I'm not gonna talk about it.
I never met my father. He died a week after I was born.
Damn.
He was gang affiliated. My mom never told me much about him, except the streets ate him. Stay in school. Unfortunately, I got into a nasty brawl at my cousin's wedding. I threw his bride into the pool.
Damn.
And I was sentenced to 2 years in prison. I lost everything I owned and everyone that I considered my close family and friends. I did my time and no one called or visited, not even my wife. Prison was peaceful. I always had enough money on my books, and the known booty bandits never approached me. My last week in prison, I found out why. My father's friends on the outside quietly protected me and kept me fed. After a month of being back home with my wife, I realized that prison is a better option for me overall, my happiness and my well-being. I strongly disliked my wife, and I hate the life I have with her. She told me she was pregnant, but she's so annoying that I can't stick around much longer. Advice? Go back to prison, bro.
Yeah. Seem like that's your home.
Go back to prison.
He'll be back there. Normally, that kind of thing happen. He gonna end up back in there.
Go back to prison. They're not going to keep protecting you. If someone asks you for your cornbread, go on and give it to them.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
You going to eat your cornbread? I would motherfucker ass even think about eating my cornbread.
And then get your ass whooped.
You was scared, huh?
Huh?
You was scared, huh?
Wasn't scared.
No, don't be scared. No.
Ain't scared.
No. Don't be scared now.
They ain't never scared.
When I met my husband at work, he was married to someone else. I pursued him. We followed our hearts and moved in together 4 years ago, and now we have a newborn. He was hospitalized for pneumonia, and I stayed with him for several hours. Went home to shower, and when I returned, another woman was there caressing his hand.
Damn
His blood pressure monitor was about to explode when he saw me. The woman said, I'm Ginny. I recognized her. Ginny is my husband's wife, and he was about to go back to her, but I got pregnant. Also, she revealed his pneumonia is so severe because they were diagnosed with HIV a few years ago.
Oh,
he never left his wife
gosh.
alone, and they both put my health at risk. Help me
Damn.
fix this. You
What
put
is
your health
there
at
to
risk.
fix?
You put your
What
health
do
at
you
risk.
need to fix? Damn. What in the world? This is terrible. Bad human.
You put your health at risk. My Puerto Rican boyfriend says he thinks I should be celibate until we get our money right. I didn't understand what going without sex had to do with our budget, but I agreed. He was shocked and very happy. You want to go celibate tonight? He asked. I said, sure. He left our apartment and came back with 2 old men.
What?
Shit went left. English isn't my boyfriend's first language.
Oh, no.
He didn't mean celibate. He meant me to sell a bit of ass to pay the bills. Can this relationship be saved or nah? I'm trying to forgive, but it's hard. Thoughts?
It's hard. Well, maybe you can sell a little bit. That's hilarious.
Hey, the classmates have been noticing. The classmates have been noticing your commentary has leveled up.
Oh my gosh.
I've always enjoyed your comments. I've always enjoyed your comments on this show. For the last few weeks, you've been hitting like,
Oh my god.
like true effortless zingers.
That's it's the mushroom tea. I told you. I was having that brain fog. I got my mushroom back. I got my back.
You have been hitting a lot of zingers lately. But I mean like effortless, like
That's
hey,
hilarious.
shout out to you. Shout out to you. You really been doing so. It's not just today. It's the last few episodes. It's like the last like 6.
That's what
It's
you
been
mean,
like,
babe.
oh.
You should be used to this, though. I had a little brain fog thing. I'm telling you. They say it's the hormones. They say it's age. Whatever the thing is. I've been drinking that adaptogens. That's what's got me back.
So if you want to get your zingers up,
Well, that's naturally me. No, I ain't gonna give it that much power.
it used to be me.
It just got slower.
It's not me
like
anymore.
The processing, I got some more RAM. I think I used that right. Okay. I'm learning the technology stuff.
If you don't know RAM by now, it is 2025.
Did I use RAM anymore?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying you've been knowing where RAM is.
Okay, yeah.
I divorced my wife for 22 years on the new year. I desired to celebrate my golden years with a beautiful, kinky woman, and I've been pleased with my choice until lately. My kinky queen begs nonstop for money that I don't have. I assumed younger women would be cheaper to keep around.
Nah.
I told her that I've got retirement money that must be there for me as I age. She called me a sugarless daddy and said instead of living broke,
Sugar-free daddy.
These motherfuckers equal.
He's not even equal. He's sweet and low. He's like sugar-free. The aspartame kind.
He's sweet and his funds are low.
Woo! No, boy.
She called me a sugarless daddy and said instead of living broke, I should go out in style. She's been asking me, aren't you sad? Don't you want to see the pearly gates? What's awkward is that here in Canada, we have an elective suicide program to end things whenever you want.
Oh.
She brought home information about it for me to read. Is she diabolical? Or does she value money so much that she assumes living on a budget is as bad as death?
Damn.
I talked to my ex-wife. She said, I agree with her. Suicide is the only option for a ninja like you. Advice? Bro, you're hated. You're hated.
Yeah.
Let it go.
I don't know. You're
You're hated.
You're trying to play in the game you're not built for.
You are not built for at all. One or both of them.
She said,
will end you.
Sugarless daddy. That's I like. You got to trademark that one. Sugarless daddy.
I got a few more.
Oh.
My girlfriend got her commercial driver's license a few years ago and is now a truck driver. She's taller than me and she's becoming too masculine. I only see her on weekends and she's real aggressive in bed. I bought her Old Spice cologne as a hint that she's being too manly, but she wears it. She likes it because she doesn't like smelling like diesel.
Oh.
I asked her if she's becoming a lesbian, but she says no. My problem? She asked for my sex stroking tips, and recently she got on top of me and put my ankles near my earlobes while giving me top and bottom.
What?
I feel like a woman. Advice?
I don't even know. That's y'all. Ooh, no.
Let it happen.
I'm not involved in that one.
Let it happen. If you got to write in about that, let it happen.
No.
You might not have as many problems with it as you think.
No.
You encouraged it when you bought the Old Spice.
And you got your ankles up to your ear. I don't know. Yeah.
See, you a flexible motherfucker.
Okay.
Might not be the first time for you there, boy.
Okay. Each his own.
And in our final toxic confession. Birmingham, Alabama is a small, ruthless place. My mom had me when she was 17 years old and my father was 38 years old and married at the time. All throughout her pregnancy, my father beat her and tried to run her off the road. So when she got away from him, he stalked her for many years until my grandfather shot him. He survived. My mom got breast cancer, and on her deathbed, she told me everything. She kept a box of police reports about my father, and she told me to stay far away from him and that side of the family. I laid my mother to rest, and my father showed up. I still don't know how he knew about the funeral. I was cordial, but I did not engage or exchange numbers. A few weeks later, I met a nice man at a bookstore, and he was saying and doing all the right things to get and keep my attention. He moved in. We got engaged. I got pregnant. At our gender reveal, my father appeared and welcomed me back into the family.
What?
My fiance is his son, my half-brother.
No.
He knew he was my half-brother when he approached me.
Oh, no.
My father told me at the gender reveal, I told that woman she could never leave me. And here you are. This is incest. Something could be wrong with my baby. My mother was the only family I had left. I'm 5 months pregnant and I'm planning on leaving, but to be honest, I'm afraid. Everyone is related here, and there are no guarantees that I can escape without someone snitching on me. Advice?
Oh, that's terrible.
That's crazy.
How'd you end on that one? That was bad.
What advice?
That was bad.
Help her out.
Get out of there. I don't know how you get out, but you gotta get out.
Okay, if that was bad, we're gonna end on a better one. You know I haven't read these, so I never know.
That one was bad.
Rarely have I read these.
I don't like that.
During my healing journey, I reached out to my ex-girlfriend, Paula. I've had 2 children with other women while I was with Paula. I stole her father's vintage Mercedes, crashed it, and then sold it for parts.
Damn.
I dated her best friend and destroyed their 20-year friendship. Much of that time, I was feeding my cocaine addiction, but I've been clean for 4 months, and I called Paula to ask her for forgiveness. Me, thank you for taking me back each time I fucked up. Can you forgive me for what I did? Your forgiveness puts me on a path to become a better man. Paula, you can't become a better man. You are what you are, and you'll never be anything more. Never. That convo destroyed me, and I relapsed. I hate that woman so much. How do I make her life miserable until she gives me her forgiveness? She's gone no contact on me, so I need to know how I can wreck her life from far away.
No. You bad human. You need to get off that shit and go back in and go back, start over again. Yep. That's it. That wasn't that much better, babe.
They're toxic confessions.
Yeah.
What can I do?
That was not
I don't.
That was not good.
things.
Toxic though. I don't like that.
I'm gonna stop trying then, because the next one will be even worse.
Yeah.
Mrs. Sawyer.
Yes.
Families. I'm so happy you're my family.
Yeah. I'm happy you don't come with all that bullshit. Glad about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything you'd like to say to the people?
Keep watching. Thanks for writing in. Love the engagement. I've been responding to some comments.
You've been responding to some comments?
I've been responding to some comments. Love all the feedback. So always keep those things coming. And glad everyone's on the ride with this journey with us.
And if you'd like us to respond to your questions, your dilemmas, your microaggressions, your relationship questions, email us at asktheblackkids@gmail.com. That's asktheblackkids@gmail.com.
I also want to say, I see a lot of comments, and I see some comments that are like, people who watch us all the time. And I love, taking attendance and checking homework. I've been seeing the homework been coming through. But make sure you follow. I think, people don't realize the strength in following. So want everybody to go ahead. If you're listening to us and you listen to us often, just make sure you're following.
That's on Spotify?
That's on all
YouTube?
platforms. YouTube, Spotify, all of us. Just follow us.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, you will come up in their algorithm because the algorithm is that great. But go ahead, and it helps us out when you actually follow. It helps us with giving the type of material that we know that you want and making sure that we see that you're there and seeing what we do if it goes more toward what you want and what you don't want.
That's why we did another family one, because that show
Yes.
got a lot of emails about that one. So I said, let's give them what they want.
So just make sure you follow us.
Thank you, babe.
And that's all.
All right. You know our socials. Only Black Kids on the things that we use. See you next week.
Bye-bye.